Good morning. Another morning video in the car, cruising through what looks like a Stephen King novel, something similar to The Mist. It's actually mad out here. But two games played by Liverpool Football Club, and 4-1 and 3-2 wins respectively, which had much changed lineups as well. Obviously the first game started with some more youngsters, but then we also had some experience. McAllister playing, we also had Darwizi with the goal and an assist. We had Rio and Gamar with a goal and an assist, if I'm not mistaken. That kid's looking the goods, man, on that left side. Again, he's only 16, going 17 years old. Ain't no propping up players here like certain other clubs going on about their potential prospects and play them and pay him 200 grand, as a certain Hooks said about Max Dowman of Arsenal. If you don't believe me, check out that Northside clip. It's actually mad. And look, pre-season games can't take too much away. I mean, if we lost, I'd be looking at how we lost, not rather that we lost. But having won the two games, first game being more of a wash, second game being more of a competitive game. But I've heard some say the second game was more tight-knit and more of a proper Liverpool game. But what I really wanted to speak about by the attack, which is looking decent, Vert's getting himself some minutes, and Ekitike with himself getting an assist. You also see Gakpo scoring 2 goals and an own goal, so he got himself an unofficial hat-trick, and Salah scoring one and then popping one over the crossbar. And the youngsters that we got as well, the young Peters, I think his name is, if that's his name, or White, or whatever his name is, bro, he looks alright. He had an opportunity to score himself a goal, didn't get there, but it is what it is. We allow it because he's just come to the club, so first outing, but not bad. And obviously the youngsters in the first game, Woodgate in goal, and then Pesci for the first one, and then Mamadashvili for the second. Again, I didn't watch the game, it was too early for me. It was like 2-3 in the morning. I'm not getting up for this on a Tuesday morning, bro. I'm staying nice and warm in bed. All good and well, Szoboszlai looking good and all that, Kanate, blah blah blah. But my thing is the defense. We need a centre back. We need a centre back ASAP. Now, shout out to Enz and G. I was just on the football call-in with Enz, and basically I said, all's looking good and well, but with Van Dijk and Kanate, the only senior centre backs in this squad, we need centre backs. Is Mark Gahey going to be the one we go for, or is there an academy prospect we can, promote from obviously the academy and bring them up? Because as it stands, we are not going to survive this season with only 2 centre backs. For me, it's not enough. We need more. Yes, we have defenders, but in terms of pure centre backs, nah, that for me is a bit of a worry. I wouldn't say I'm panicked, but I'd be very, very worried. Isak being the talk of the town, decision's going to be made this week, cool. But all in all, if we don't have centre-back cover, what are we doing? We're going to play Endo in centre-back. We're going to play Gravenberch in centre-back. Just because we've got extra midfielders doesn't mean we should be reshuffling the squad and making these sorts of changes. I mean, we went past this. We went through this in 2021. We don't need to do this anymore. That was an ultimate catastrophe, not having enough players for cover. But that was just a lemony snicket series of unfortunate events, because one defender went down, then another went down, and a midfielder went down, and another defender that went down. It was just an absolute madness. So you don't want to repeat that. FSG, I would hope, would be looking at another defender. Not to say we're easy to play against. I've heard some people say one ball over the top, we look open. As En said as well, the game against Palace is probably going to be the barometer, the measuring stick to see how we play against these teams that like to defend and then hit on counter-attack. So we're going to see ourselves playing some compact football, or are we just going to keep playing our thin 2 centre-backs with a wing-back floating around somewhere? I have no idea. I'm not a tactical, so I can't tell you for sure. But I do know that we need the centre-backs. The centre-backs is something that we definitely need, whether it be a Gahey, who is on his last year of his contract at Crystal Palace. Palace want 50 mil. I see Newcastle reignite his interest, and they want 40 mil to pay rather. But Palace are saying, no, it's 50 or nothing. And Newcastle fans are saying, well, why should we pay 50 when we want to pay 40? It sounds oddly familiar, wouldn't you say? Why would we accept X amount when we want Y amount? It sounds oddly familiar. Yes, indeed. So that's the story. Isak Saga's doing my head in, to be honest with you. But everything looks all good and well. And yeah, players get some minutes into the legs rather. And the first games at Anfield since the trophy celebration. And first game back at Anfield without the late Diogo Jota. Rest in peace again. So the season ahead is nearly here. We have Community Shield, and then in 11 days it's kickoff against it was a Bournemouth on the Friday night, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So plenty more discussions till then, but until then, that's my quick little summary. FSG, Fenway Sports Group, Mr. Mark Henry, I think WWE, John Henry, for fuck's sakes, please buy us a centre back, I beg.